ARM Foundation for Cell and Gene Medicine, healing genes, transforming medicine, changing lives. Black-haired, bespectacled Lakila Bailey, PhD, Executive Director, Sickle Cell Community Consortium, patient.
When you have a chronic illness, you learn how to hurt.
Blonde, bespectacled Kathleen O'Sullivan Fortin, ALD patient advocate.
Gene therapy is really the fix, and it's the only fix, right now in our disease space.
A woman with short blonde hair, Sharon King, President, Taylor's Tale, patient advocate.
Well, even though I've lost my child, I am still hopeful, and it's because there is so much hope.
A woman with blonde shoulder-length hair stands outdoors. Jody Cook, head of Gene Therapy Strategy, PTC Therapeutics.
This is going to be a remarkable change in the way we practice medicine.
In a graphic, yellow lettering appears on a blue background, the promise of cell and gene medicine. Next, in a brief montage, a smiling gray-haired woman and a brunette nurse stand on opposite sides of a bearded man's hospital bed. A woman with long blonde hair reads to a brown-haired boy in a wheelchair. In a laboratory, scientists wearing long white coats analyze blood samples. Elsewhere, a clean-shaven man with short gray hair. Martin K. Childers, DO, PhD, Chief Medical Officer, AskBio.
Gene therapy treats the root cause of the disease for a patient with a genetic disease.
At a care facility, an auburn-haired female nurse pumps liquid through a feeding tube inserted into a baby's stomach. A baby with oxygen and feeding tubes in her nose and a heart rate monitor on her left hand lies in a hospital crib. Next, women and men wearing surgical masks, gloves, and scrubs stand beside the crib. Later, a woman with dark blonde hair holds a pacifier in the baby's mouth.
Genetic disorders are often caused by faulty genes or errors in our body's instruction code, and can create painful, life-threatening health issues. While genetic disorders can be complex, there are some treatment options available, and more are on the horizon.
A woman with long red hair stands outside. Linda Marbon, CEO, Capricor Therapeutics.
We're seeing for the first time the promise that started more than 20 years ago, which is that we're able to go in and actually fix diseases.
In a laboratory, a scientist carries trays of vials containing yellow liquid. In a graphic, a view through a microscope of 4 cells dividing into 8 cells.
It's clearly a time in which we are now going to be able to harness the promise of cells as a therapeutic and genes to change the course of disease. And the opportunity is now shifting from the idea that you can only take a stem cell and repair an injured tissue to the idea of using cells as a vehicle to deliver a therapeutic and to heal. And that's perhaps one of the most exciting parts.
Against a dark blue background, bulleted terms including glucose, long-term self-renewal, surface markers, and stromal cells revolve clockwise around a sphere of crisscrossing green lines, resembling laser beams. In a lab, a scientist wearing a white protective suit peers through a microscope. In front of the scientist, a magnified view of dark purple cells on a light purple background appears on a large screen. Elsewhere, a besuited man with a clean-shaven head sports eyeglasses with light purple frames. Adam Gridley, President and CEO, Histogenics Corporation.
What's exciting is that for patients, there is a safe alternative to the other therapies that are available today. And rather than waiting a long time for the patient's own body to, in some cases, try to repair the injury, we're able to do that outside of the patient's body with their own cells and provide a personalized cell therapy that ultimately restores function more quickly and treats pain at the source.
In computer animation, a light blue double helix twirls against a black background. Seated near a workstation in a dimly lit corner of a medical laboratory, goateed Richard G. Samulski, PhD, UNC Gene Therapy Center.
We take genetic information that's outside of the body, and through molecular surgery, we introduce it into the cell. And when it goes into the cell, it's almost like if there's a light bulb out, you're swapping out the light bulb, and with that new information, things become functional and they begin to work again.
Martin K. Childers, DO, PhD, Chief Medical Officer, AskBio. In a hospital room, a white-haired, mustache man looks down while nearby, a nurse listens through a stethoscope to a brunette woman's heartbeat. In a physical exercise room, a dark-haired woman stretches out a man's leg as he lies on a table.
So gene therapy could be used and is being trialed right now for more common diseases. For example, heart disease, Parkinson's disease, even osteoarthritis.
In an office, gray-haired goateed Maury Ruffin, Executive Director, ARM Foundation, co-founder, Allegiance for Regenerative Medicine.
We're really on the cusp of major advances in cell and gene medicine, yet at the same time, the vast majority of people really don't understand what cell and gene medicine and gene therapy is.
A short-haired father holds his young brown-haired son, who places both hands on his dad's face. A dark-haired nurse pats a gray-haired man's right hand as he makes his way across a platform with parallel-mounted bars. A female doctor with short black hair shows a toddler boy her stethoscope and smiles. With his left hand, a brown-haired man wearing safety glasses and surgical gloves holds up a clear square plate of glass, showing computer-animated graphs and text. As the man taps the screen with his right index finger, a blue bar graph displays a yellow-green circle with data inside. Maury Ruffin.
The ARM Foundation for Cell and Gene Medicine is a leading voice in engaging and educating patients, caregivers, the community, healthcare providers, and medical researchers about a variety of topics in cell and gene medicine.
Our flagship educational program is called Healing Genes. The website is healinggenes.org.
A webpage for Healing Genes shows a horizontal navigation menu. Below the menu, a heading, Healing Genes Together, followed by an introductory paragraph. To the right of the paragraph, a block consisting of headshots of various smiling people. Elsewhere, blonde Susan Sakura Brizendine, Program Director, ARM Foundation. Kathleen O'Sullivan Fortin, ALD Patient Advocate. A woman with long blonde hair, Brenda Hayes, National Hemophilia Association Patient Advocate.
All of our resources are really designed to help people learn about cell and gene medicine in a simple, easy way to make this journey a little bit easier.
Healing Genes is a great resource because it teaches people the overall science and terminology.
It's really important for us as patient advocacy organizations to be able to send patients to websites and to content that they can trust is accurate.
Seated on a sofa, a ponytailed woman wearing a name placard around her neck holds a clipboard as she talks with an elderly woman with short blonde hair. In a lab, doctors and scientists analyze various substances. Maury Ruffin, Executive Director, ARM Foundation, co-founder, Allegiance for Regenerative Medicine.
We are spending a lot of our time and attention on making sure that we have the most accurate information available to patients, caregivers, and other stakeholders. And we're doing that by working with the real experts in the field.
A dark-haired woman sits and rocks her young daughter, who holds a white stuffed toy bunny. Elsewhere, Susan Sakura Brizendine, Program Director, ARM Foundation. A newborn baby lying in an incubator grips a woman's finger.
These new therapies are changing medicine and transforming lives, and there's so much potential for them, but we can't reach the full potential unless we as a society understand them, understand how they work, and the benefit that they have to our families.
A woman wearing a headscarf smiles as she presses her forehead to a short-haired toddler's. A brown-haired man rubs noses with his blonde, curly-haired toddler daughter. A brunette woman and a toddler boy hold hands as they walk across a grassy park toward a set of stone steps. Maury Ruffin, Martin K. Childers. In a research facility, a gray-haired, bespectacled man in a white lab coat types on a computer keyboard.
Everyone's life is going to be touched in some way by the advances that are being made in cell and gene medicine.
I think in the future what we'll see is that you'll go see your doctor and he will have information about your entire genome.
Brown-haired, bearded Max Bronstein, Senior Director, Health Policy, Audentes. A dark-haired woman kisses her baby daughter. A bespectacled woman hugs a gray-haired lady. A doctor with her long blonde hair and a ponytail laughs with a short-haired young boy. A bearded man hugs his brunette mother.
We have a mission to help patients and the public writ large understand how these technologies work, why they work, and ultimately what they can do for patients in terms of saving lives, transforming their lives, and helping them really live the highest possible quality of life that they can.
ARM Foundation for Cell and Gene Medicine, Healing Genes, Transforming Medicine, Changing Lives, healinggenes.org.
With cell and gene medicine, the future of healing is at our doorstep. Join our community at healinggenes.org.